All right. Which one of you actually remembers last week?
Considering I just finished rewatching last week's game about 2 hours ago, I guess it's me.
Probably you.
Um, so I'm not even gonna bother rolling.
Fair.
Just not gonna bother. Oh, wait, am I good to go?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh shit, both bad. Um, uh, so, oh god, okay, hold on. Now I'm like, wait, shit, where did we start? Oh
Uh,
We
no.
were still
Now,
at the Edelfelt.
yeah, okay, yeah, we were at the Edelfelts, and we left the Edelfelts, and we decided to go to Germany to visit the Einzberns, and instead of traveling and going through the lake, Penelope was like, "Hello, I'm going to be a little gremlin. Let's teleport into the grotto." Um, Diana was complicit in this. So Diana, Annis, and Derek and Hemlock ended up in the actual grotto. Penelope and Aiden and Johnny ended up in the bathtub at the Einzbern Castle with two butt-ass naked homunculi. Um, let's see. They all met back up. They ran into Kwaku. Um, I'm definitely forgetting something. Uh, there were conversations with. Oh, they saw the golem for the castle for the first time. He's been making really good progress. He's almost done. Should be about another week. Um, Aiden had a conversation with the castle. Aiden does not like the castle. He thinks he's a little bitch. Except those weren't Aiden's words, but you know, here we are. Um, Diana also talked to the castle. I don't even know what she talked to him about. Uh,
stuff.
stuff, castle stuff. She's like, how many turrets do you even have? If you don't have five, get out. Um, let's see, and
You're
then
one to talk. How many turrets do you have?
I'm not a castle bitch.
Clearly.
um, I want that to be the exact way that conversation went. Let's see. Annis and Kwaku had a little talk. Um, um, oh god, why am I blanking on what their conversation? I was on the plane when I was listening to that part, so I'm just like, fuck. Um,
Asked to identify the staff.
That's what it was, yeah.
And then also the sword, just general catching up and Grail War chatter.
Yeah. And then Penelope went and met the newest Einzbern, Umbrasviel. Umbrasviel? How do
Yeah.
you say it? Umbrasviel?
Umbrasviel.
Okay, well, Penelope calls her Umbra because she's like, I ain't got time for that whole name.
Which is fair.
And she found out that she watched a lot of videos and stuff while she was in the tube. She watched dancing videos and was like, I like dancing. And so now she's just doing some weird ballet things around all the statues in the ritual room. She got, let's see, Lucretia showed up at some point and was like, bam, here's the command seals. And Umbra was like, thanks, bam. Penelope tried to introduce everybody to Umbra, but that didn't go quite as well. And then, no, wait, Lucretia showed up after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then
they all went downstairs for dinner.
Yeah, they all went downstairs for dinner, and I know we ended with Diana being like, "I'll escort you downstairs. Here's my arm."
Here's my arm.
Sorry, Shelly just climbed up on Artie's shoulder, so it's like, here's my arm. Oh, don't mind if I do. Wham!
As you do.
I'm glad that you're cute.
But yeah.
Fair enough.
I think
Yeah,
I
you're done.
covered everything.
Yeah. So you're down here, and you're getting food served to you
So,
by
what?
creepy ghost ladies.
Hell yeah, creepy ghost ladies. So, question: were
Yeah.
Lucretia and Diana able to talk on their way down at all, or?
They can, but since you're walking with everyone else, I'll let you decide if that's where you want to have that conversation.
Oh. Let me look at the. You know what? No, she's not gonna have that conversation.
Okay.
There. That's fine. She'll just keep it like general light chatter, like I don't know.
So you also go to Clock Tower sometimes. How are things?
Basically.
Yeah.
I like your haircut. It looks nice.
Thank you. I also like your haircut.
Oh, thank you. It's yes, my hair is very long.
Where do you get it done?
You know, just some places in town. London.
Proceed to do London local talk. Comment on best sandwich shop, etc., etc.
Yeah. Something about the Queen, etc.
Something, name drop that bar that El-Melloi goes to. Continue.
Yeah. And then when they get to the table, she'll just be like, we need to talk more after this.
I'm sure there'll be no shortage of opportunities.
Yes.
So, as you can obviously choose where you're sitting. I just moved you around to make it so you weren't standing in the middle of tables. Feel free to adjust as you see fit. I also like the idea that the wolf is getting a seat, even though that's obviously not happening.
What? Damn. Penelope stands on the table. That's I'm joking.
And for a brief instant, you're taller than ever.
For a brief instant, I'm the same height as everyone.
But I'm glad that you're comfy.
It's important to be comfortable. But yeah, the homunculi walk around and they take your preferences for meals. As most of you are aware, they're quite stocked when it comes to food, and everything is made to order. So you're welcome to ask for pretty much whatever you want.
Full pot of coffee, please.
They make note of that.
Yeah. Oh
So
God.
even though you're scattered around, we're going to assume everyone can hear everyone unless you say otherwise, because it'd be kind of weird to be like, Annis, you're stuck over in that corner. You don't get to participate. Or whatever.
Can you hear me over there?
What?
I said, can you hear me?
What?
You're a hoe.
You're a hoe.
Well, you heard me that time, huh?
What? She just leans over to Johnny. I heard her perfectly well. I just wanted to see what she would do.
I mean, as far as I can tell, she's fully capable of hearing everything you're saying even now.
I'm just kidding. Annis would never call Penelope a hoe.
It's true. Or would she?
She wouldn't.
She'd call Diana a hoe.
She's like, I feel like someone's calling me a hoe. Who called me that? Was it you, Wolf? It was Wolf. Anyway.
Ilya and Wolf says, you a hoe? But yeah, so they take food orders. This is kind of your open forum to speak because you have questions for so many people. So feel free to either ask them or pick topics, because if you leave it to the people present, they're just going to make small talk. And you can assume that happens for a little bit. Unless anyone's like, immediately, all right, tell me what you know. Explain to me the nature of the soul.
Tell me what you know. Would either of you like to go first?
I mean, Iden doesn't want to have conversations inside the castle. He's just gonna look to Lucretia and be like, "Can I talk to you outside after dinner?"
If you wish.
Did you say something?
Is there a reason you want to speak outside and not in one of the dozens, if not hundreds, of rooms in this building?
Don't like the place. Not anymore. He just looks up to the ceiling.
Ah, yes, that's fair. Yes, the walls do have ears.
So are you guys actually gonna sleep outside tonight?
Sure.
Yes.
It's a good night for it. I don't see why not.
I might still sleep in here.
Aren't there ghosts out there?
Not anymore.
Yeah, wait, yeah, there are.
Yeah, they're friendly.
Yeah. I just don't want to sleep outside.
I mean, that's fair.
Well, actually, I'll leave it, and she just turns to Derek. I'll leave it up to you. If you don't want to sleep in leaves, I totally understand.
Didn't she say that we could use her cabin?
That's also true.
From what you told me before, I want to say that like this forest has blights in it, so maybe the cabin's safer.
I don't think there are blights now. I mean, there might be some stragglers.
Iden's eyes are like glistening. He's like,
No,
children to say.
no. He's like, I feel like if I stay here in the castle tonight, that'll help me establish some trust with the newbie. Maybe.
I mean, that's up to you. I want to do that. I'm just going outside. I'm not staying here.
Okay. Sips coffee.
Will you at least come outside with us to have a chat after dinner?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We can build a campfire. We can. She just like flags down one of the homunculi. Do you have marshmallows and graham crackers and chocolate?
Oh my god, are we gonna make s'mores?
That can be arranged.
And hot cocoa.
I would
Of
like
course.
the hot cocoa.
Okay,
Please and thank you.
I think you convinced me to sleep outside.
You don't have to sleep outside, but
Let's have super official talking outside.
yeah, we can have a nice campfire, roast some s'mores,
Ooh.
tell ghost stories in the haunted ass forest, not house.
I mean, we can have the ghosts act out the ghost stories.
It's true.
I feel like I'm gonna have to shake the characters so you can tell who's talking, because there are so many of them.
I think I broke the.
I would recommend against staying out in the old village, but otherwise you should be fine.
Why not the old village?
It is haunted by a different sort of ghost.
Does it?
I heard does it and not the rest of it.
Does it need to pass on?
I don't think it wants to. I suppose that is the nature of a haunting.
Well, what kind of ghost is it?
A lot of very bad things happened there a long time ago, and grudges are eternal.
Not as friendly as the ghosts that we've met.
The ghosts that you met were the ghost of past homunculi who were perfectly happy in their eternal state, as was the nature of it. I think the ones that Miss Lucretia is referencing are the ones who were the humans nearby a time ago.
There was that ghost you held hands with at Clock Tower. He was friendly.
Yeah, but he also drained all my mana.
Also true.
That wasn't fun. But I mean, I could go hold hands with more ghosts.
I wouldn't. So no going into the into the old village. Got it.
Like, flashing back when you went through the old village when you first got here, you didn't interact with much of anything, and then you slept on a rock where you still had to deal with ghosts.
Yeah.
Hey.
For super long ago flashbacks, the old rocks had I believe it was a doll there that Hemlock stole, and then a ghost shadow of Hercules chased it all the way to the tree.
Yep.
Yeah. Go down by the lake, make a nice fire, roast some s'mores, have some conversations that certain people are not privy to. She's just looking up at the ceiling.
Oh, has that lake already been consecrated? Oh,
It should be.
So. Okay, damn. I wanted to get practice.
I'm sure there'll be no shortage of opportunities.
Yeah. So, Lucretia, how often are you here?
I try to visit when I can, once a year or more often when possible. Unfortunately, the last time I took a few months away, apparently it was attacked by a tree monster. So, trying to do a little better about that now.
Yeah, I don't think I realized you actually had a good relationship with the Einzberns, she says, just like raising her eyebrows like
It's a bit of a complicated connection. It goes back a very long time.
Yeah,
Yeah, she can tell us more about that when we have a fire. Yeah.
Just
Do you think I'm going to tell you something that isn't already known here?
What?
I'm not sure what... we can speak whenever you wish, but I suppose that's up to you.
I'm just trying not to say anything out loud that you might not want shared.
If I say it, then I don't mind who hears it. Everyone here already knows the story. Well, here, she waves to all the homunculi walking around.
Wait, so they know who you are?
Of course.
Like, they know that you're... And she's just, like, gesturing, trying not to say anything out loud, but she's like, I don't know what I can actually say. She's like, you're the,
They understand that I carry within me two souls.
Oh. And they know that one of those souls is...
Yes. Are you comfortable with me talking about this? You seem to be apprehensive about the discussion.
Penelope's gonna try something really quick. Ooh, okay, I lost my languages there for a second.
Oh no. Language is lost, only babble.
Alright, I'm just gonna send this to you through Discord because it's fighting me.
Sure. External tool activate. Dramatic text.
Janice is not chanting to herself in Elfish or anything. I just thought that was funny.
I appreciate how it's at least consistent with its character replacement. It's just so much more efficient. While you're doing this, all of the food things you asked for arrive.
I typed as fast as I could.
That's fair. She nods to you.
Oh. Well, shit. Then I shouldn't have been, like, beating around the bush. Damn. So, how...
Would you like to know how exactly that works?
Yes.
Of course. So, I guess this is a question for the room. How many people here know how souls work?
Is that something I can roll for?
You can roll Arcana.
I feel like I should know how souls work.
Well, keeping in mind, like, obviously this is the kind of thing that different people have different theories about, so rolling is largely to see if what you think of corresponds to what she's talking about.
Would that be like a religion thing for me though? Because it's like fundamentally, potentially different.
I mean, you can roll religion, but you're going to come to a different conclusion if you're rolling religion versus Arcana, because of how the setting works.
Yeah, because I was like, everything that I have, like souls and stuff, is Eldath.
Right. Yeah, she's going to be giving you the clock tower breakdown of how souls work, which is not going to correspond to a religious breakdown of how souls work.
Well, 3. I don't know jack shit, apparently. Not about clock tower. Apparently not about religion. Souls.
Okay, so I have to restart Fantasy Grounds?
Oh no.
Because it is frozen?
Oh no.
So just assume I rolled Arcana. I don't even know what number
I'll roll for you.
Well, I rolled a 1. Would you like to help me re-roll my 1?
Sure.
Alright, I'm seeing what Penelope would have gotten on her roll.
Wow, I rolled another 1.
I can't help you there. That was decided.
Eldath was like, you guide him over. That's it.
Eldath is like, you stick him in the washing machine and you move on.
That's it.
Stick him in the washing
machine? What's that? Like,
not the washing machine.
Damn, that's the worst time to roll 1s, apparently.
I thought it was funny.
I mean, yeah, but...
There are worse times.
But that's kind of his whole shtick, though.
Okay, so, Penelope got an 11 on her Arcana roll. Annis is sitting on 13. Aiden is pretty confident they are part of shoes.
Oh, wrong one. You have a different word for what soul is.
Honestly, probably.
Let me give a bit of background then. So, obviously this will vary to the nature of religion, but in the sort of metaphysics that is practiced by Clock Tower and the mages within, and to an extent seen by a number of other communities, including some dead apostles, but not others. What makes a person is the sum of the body, the mind, and the soul. When you're born, the root takes a small piece of itself and sends it into the world. That piece of itself is then born into a body with a blank mind that will slowly develop over the course of its life. The soul is largely a dormant part of the root, which is why when it is awakened to its purpose, it can change everything. As you live through your lifespan, your body gets, larger, it matures, and eventually your body grows weaker and dies. As you grow older, your mind develops. You gain wisdom, you gain knowledge. You also, unfortunately, collect sadness and trauma. And as that continues, eventually your mind, given enough time, will atrophy as well, and you will go into decline. And your soul, once your body and your mind are gone, will return to the root, to be brought back into the whole and then sent out again in a new form. And even though the soul is separate from the body and the mind, it still has an expiration date, so to speak. After a certain amount of time, the soul will start to rot if it is away from the root for too long. This is why even if you were to use Magecraft to extend the duration of your body, and you were to very carefully control what enters your mind to avoid trauma, over time, your soul would rot, even in an immortal body, and you would suffer from that, which is why true immortality is reserved for very few, and is more in nature of how you are made than what you have become. Now, the Einzberns, in their practice of the third magic, Heaven's Feel, are creating a system whereby the soul is no longer so fragile. The soul can exist without a body and without a mind, technically, and can continue on without rotting. It exists as an entity almost made of mana that just simply continues. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't mean much without a body to control. So, if you were to, as the Einzbern researcher, who is my host, gains an immortal soul, you would still need a body that could survive an immortal life. As a dead apostle inheritor, similar to Einosh, I need a host to manifest in the world. And I can extend the lifespan of my host significantly. So once her soul became immortal, she made a deal with me whereby I would make her body functionally immortal, and I would protect her mind, and as her soul can stick around indefinitely, the two of us together could move forward in pursuit of the goal of protecting Gaia and her children. So we made a deal. So the body that you see before you is, in fact, the woman from over 1,000 years ago. And yet it is also the dead apostle inheritor who does her best to prevent the destruction of the world at the hands of other dead apostles and entities who've shirked this responsibility. We're both here. We've gotten to know each other quite well over the past millennium. And we check in with the Einzberns every now and then, just to see how things are going. Most of the visits are rather bland because they don't change much. And in the case of now, we are, of course, here to see to it that the ritual can continue so that we can solve the loose ends of the most recent Grail War. And by extension, the problems with all of these bubbles appearing and draining mana. Does anyone have any questions about that?
Not that I want to ask in here.
That is fair.
So, why didn't you tell us about any of this before?
I didn't think it would be relevant to you before. I mentioned to you that I have another half, that I have a host. I wasn't aware any of you had encountered her before.
I mean, we haven't. Well,
I mean,
Annis kind of did.
I'm still trying to figure out why I was shown that vision while I was moving the ley line. There has to be a reason.
Do you normally see visions when you move ley lines?
Do I? That's a question for the DM.
I mean, you've only moved them this go round. So
I remember you saying something like Annis had moved ley lines before, but like not on her own, like as training.
Like as part of the bigger ritual for rerouting ley lines, which you do to essentially avoid them getting lost in dead ends, so to speak. Like a curation of the world itself. It was typically done over a larger ritual with several druids. This is the first time she had the real focus on it. And during those rituals, you've not experienced anything like this.
Mm-hmm. I never did before, but it wasn't ever just me before. This time it was just me moving multiple ley lines.
Well, my best guess would be that you saw something that Gaia wanted you to see.
Yeah, suppose so.
Might have to have a chat with her later about that. She doesn't actually answer my questions, in case you were wondering. That was facetious.
So, then what's your wish for the Grail?
Mine?
Yes, is it this? It's not the same as the Einzbern wish, is it?
No, I don't feel that Heaven's Feel is sustainable. Like simply put, having had a roommate for so long, immortality can be a bit of a curse. Having an immortal soul is effectively cutting you off from the root and depriving the root of some amount of existence long term. Could be frowned upon. Also, candidly, I feel like if the Einzbern plan were to succeed, then the world would stop changing. And when the world stops changing, it gets pruned and falls into Dream's End. So I'm not personally in favor of that plan.
Then what is your wish?
My wish would be so much simpler than that. I, as an inheritor of the responsibilities of Gaia, want to counter some of the damage that's been done to the planet in the modern times. I don't think the Grail is the right solution for rerouting history, but I do think that we could certainly buy some time if we got a clean slate on pollution, and perhaps the humans were to take a greater interest in the long-term sustainability of their existence on this planet.
Out of character. Fuck yeah! I was just like, damn, okay, she's convinced me.
Well, sure, that's definitely a good wish. Is that something the Grail is capable of doing, though? Like, isn't the whole problem that someone got the Grail and wished for something too big?
I feel like someone made a more fundamental change for the amount of mana necessary for this. I am looking at something more akin to changing the minds and priority of all of the people in the world, which would be more invasive but less intensive. If we could head off the decline of the planet by simply shifting the priorities of the dominant species, and of course using some of the residual power to perhaps roll back the damage to the atmosphere from the past few decades, I think that would be within its scope. That worries me to think about what someone wished for that required this much mana, if I'm being honest.
Agreed.
The amount that it's drawing now feels like someone made a fundamental wish, or rather, they made a wish to affect the fundamental nature of the world. I have no desire to go that far. I'm simply looking to course correct and perhaps change the minds of the people in charge of the approach that humans have to the planet.
And he just kind of looks at the ceiling and he's like, if that is, fundamental is what's causing the issue, he's just like, and he just kind of points to, or hand gestures the castle, is wish not fundamental, not cause same issue, like the castle's wish, what he's gesturing at.
Should the souls of every living being on this planet manifest through Heaven's Feel, then humanity and all of the other sentient species will be cut off from the planet. The planet may likely die under the strain, but they won't care. As someone who is here on behalf of the planet, I do not approve of this.
How do you know when something is going to be too big of a wish for the Grail?
That I'm not certain of. No one has ever successfully been granted a wish by the Grail, so it is a bit difficult to understand exactly what it entails, but based on my understanding of the ritual, the Holy Grail is powered by the Einzbern ability to create a miracle, which is to say anything that can be done with a sufficient amount of mana can be granted, but you're still operating within the rules of what can be done. I do not think that the Holy Grail could, for instance, go back in time and change how things happened in the past, nor do I think it could interact with other dimensions or universes. I think those are governed by magic. The Grail is ultimately operating within a ritual that collects a great deal of mana and then puts it to use to the best of the Grail's ability.
Mhm.
I'm not even certain that the Grail could fully deliver on Heaven's Feel. That is also within the realm of magic. But obviously, the ritual was originally devised to do that, so it was decided at some point that it was possible. At least by someone who couldn't think of anything better.
Yeah.
And on the meta level, completely outside of what any of these characters know, yes, the Grail can do Heaven's Feel, but they have no way of knowing that.
Fuck. Sips coffee again.
Because how could they know that? It's never happened. They didn't see Fate Apocrypha.
Smash cut to years in the future.
Smash cut to another dimension.
That's literally anything Aiden would ask while in
Yeah. So Diana's gonna look over at Lucretia and be like, so now that we're not trying to keep the thing with the dead apostle stuff a secret here, is that a thing that's known at Clock Tower as well, or is that something I need to keep on the down low?
I would prefer you not tell anyone. I'm certain that several of them know in the same way that many of them know that there are halflings among them and choose not to say anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Clock
Wait.
Tower is a collection of people with secrets, and by extension, people who know each other's secrets and choose to sit back and wait for an opportunity to exploit that.
Oh dear.
If you really want to be surprised, I'm not the only dead apostle in Clock Tower.
You know, that doesn't really surprise me.
I mean, we met at least one other one.
Very nice guy.
The one that gave Aiden his homework.
This is Diana.
Mm-hmm.
I got homework.
You got homework from a dead apostle.
Yeah, he was really nice.
What kind of homework?
They met the Wizard Marshal. You don't have to roll to know who that is.
Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah. Wait, you met the Wizard Marshal, and he gave you homework? How are you doing on that?
I finished. It took me, and I've used a spell. It took me a week.
You know you can speak Sylvan to me, right?
Oh, well, it's so everybody can. Yeah.
But wait, you finished it in a week?
Yeah.
And you didn't go absolutely fucking bonkers.
I've been warned about that, but no, I am magic, so joke's on him.
I don't think his intention was to drive you insane.
So what was the homework though?
You'll never know, because I need another one.
What?
I gotta meet him again. I have a lot of questions.
That doesn't explain what the homework was.
Exactly. There was a lot of protractor, right, Annis?
Yep.
A lot of protractor.
A lot of math.
It was painful. I think that was the pain that they were talking.
Possibly.
Something called a Fibonacci.
A gnocchi? Like the pasta?
No, it had like a lot of circles, like you see in flowers and seashells.
The
and stuff.
Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah.
See, now I want. Someone bring me some pasta. That would be great. So
You're given pasta.
Oh, thank you. So you know what the homework was?
Not really.
Oh.
I do, but I don't. I don't know that I could adequately describe it. It was more of an experience.
Oh.
Anyway, that's not the point.
Yeah.
I'm just more impressed that you managed to finish his homework. I've heard about what happens to people who try. Doesn't happen often.
Well, he did say he was rooting. So I guess that's a good thing.
Well.
Yeah, Diana finds herself surrounded by weirdos who are way more connected than she thought.
She's just like face palming, like, oh god, what have I gotten myself into? So, so I guess since we all know now about both of you, when she's pointing at Lucretia, like, do I get to meet her yet? Hello?
You mean my other half?
Yeah.
If you wish. She's at home here.
Can we?
Boop. For relevance.
Oh shit. I still haven't finished the art.
That's fine. It's all good. Okay, so you see her sit still for a moment, and then her posture, like, changes a bit. She's not slouching, but she's less at passive attention. Like, Lucretia, a lot of the time, looks like she's always almost statuesque when it comes to her composure, and now she's a little more normal. And then she says over to Penelope, "It's nice to finally meet you."
Hi. So, do I call you Lucretia too, or what do I?
Lucretia is actually my name, but when the inheritor needed a name, it made sense.
That's so cool.
So, you can refer to either of us as Lucretia. We really are the same person at this point, simply two focuses. You don't spend 1,000 years with someone and not merge a bit.
I mean, fair, I guess.
I like to think I ground her a bit.
Penelope's just like, fuck, I'm literally talking to a fucking Einzbern researcher from like 1,000-something years ago, and she has no idea how to comprehend. It's like, Annis, do you have questions? You literally saw her in your brain.
I do, but I don't know that I want to ask them in here.
Oh.
Sounds like we'll all be having s'mores in a bit.
Yeah.
I can go spring wigs. Just Iden heads out. He just doesn't want to be here. Hey. Door.
I guess I'll go help. He can't start fires. He's all water. Also, I don't think he knows where he's going.
No.
That's fair.
Oh no, stairs.
You can just walk
You
down.
can just walk down the stairs.
I like to imagine that was in character. Oh no, stairs. You can walk down the walls.
Yeah, I was in the boat all over again when Annis helped him. You're right. He just.
Oh my god. Penelope just looks over at Kwaku like, this feels just like that dinner we had the first time we came to the castle.
Yeah, a bit like that. Only more people and about the same awkward conclusions.
Yeah.
Derek, you should probably go follow her. Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, we should all probably go outside.
Would you like me to stay here, or would I just be an extra wheel on that one? That being Echo.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why not. You can totally join us for s'mores. You're not like an extra wheel.
Okay.
This is an 18-wheeler of friendship. I just don't have 18 wheels.
We're getting there.
Yeehaw!
All right, so I think it's safe to say that pretty much everyone's going to be going to the lake.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All right, let me dig that out. Oh wow, I can. Oh god, this map is so old. It's got so many old assets on it that I haven't removed yet. All right, I'm going to share it with you exactly as it is now, just to remind you of how much time has passed, and then I'll clean it up. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Check out that bottom right corner.
Oh.
Oh my god!
Wow, old Echo.
Old Echo!
Hemlock's original token. Kwaku's original token.
Whoa.
A question mark.
Echo was old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
that was how they met her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that question mark is the statue that was used in one of the ley line things.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to clear that out now because none of this stuff matters anymore. I assume I moved the token since then, and that's why it's missing. But yeah, this was back when you were going to all of the different monuments that correspond to the Stay Night classes. Let's clean all these out. Buy old everything.
Only young Echo allowed.
I'm just going to drag you from one map to another so I don't have to find you all again. All right. Let's see. Drag you up here near the water.
I am on high alert for any blights, methods, anything.
Oh, I'm assuming that Diana's going with everyone else because it's really awkward sitting around there without you at this point.
Yeah.
Everybody, get out.
Yeah, while they're walking, like, Diana's gonna just chat with Lucretia some more.
Sure.
Actually, you know what? I kind of want her to have this conversation.
You can. It is up to you.
So, like, she's gonna pull Lucretia back from, basically from the group while they're all walking out to the lake, and she's gonna be like, so, what are your intentions with Penelope?
I intend to get through the Grail War with minimum problems wherever possible, and she is quite capable of finding peaceful resolutions. I saw that very much when I met her at the Arsène Lupin mansion, and since then she's only further proven her ability to find solutions. Contrary to the reputation of the dead apostles, I actually don't desire needless bloodshed and destruction. And anyone who can settle this diplomatically is appreciated.
So you don't have any, like, weird, sinister intentions, you're not trying to use her for some kind of weird gain.
Is there any answer that I can give you to that question that will be acceptable?
I just need to know that you've got her best interest in mind.
I have the best interest of the planet in mind, and as someone who lives upon that planet, I think that Penelope and I are in alignment on the importance of keeping it safe. I've certainly given her plenty of opportunities to express her own terms in this, and I have met with her on each of them. I have no intention to do anything to cause her undue harm or stress or despair. but ultimately, as long as she chooses to work with me on this one, I will do everything that I can to help her with it. And if she chooses to step away from this agreement, then I will obviously be disappointed, but that is her right.
And then I guess on a more personal level, so how much contact do you have with any of the ladies?
We have communicated in the past when they were more active on this side, and I have occasionally offered support to your lady, who is, again, more active on this side. I've not had as much contact with her lady, as her lady tends to stick to her education and her more long-term objectives, which, while I coincide with, don't usually involve her speaking to me. I suppose we're more colleagues than friends.
Alright, that's all I needed.
What about you? Are you planning on throwing your hat in the ring and joining the many from Clock Tower vying for a seat in a Holy Grail War? Will you be summoning a hero of history and having them do battle for a wish?
Look, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to. But I don't know that I don't think that I can.
I expected it to be quite a political battle for this one, considering both what's at stake with the world and in general.
Yeah, I don't know that I have enough clout to try and get one of the spots, honestly.
Might be a bit challenging. I'm going to have to fight for my spot, and I'm the one who's bringing it to the table.
Yeah, that's a little messed up. I'm not gonna lie.
It's how they work. I think they largely ignored the ritual for some time, and then it ended up killing 2 of their lords.
Ew. Who died?
In the Fourth Holy Grail War, Caneth of the El-Melloi faction died, and his wife, who was in charge of other groups, and the Soloi and her faction also died. Neither one of them returned from the Holy Grail War, which put Clock Tower in turmoil.
Is that why the teacher in charge of modern magecraft is Lord El-Melloi II?
That, and he does not like to be associated with the first.
Yeah.
He was one of his students, and they did not get along well. As far as I can...
When you're, like, building the fire and everything.
Oh, I thought we were still walking.
Oh.
That's why I figured I was gathering 6.
Yeah.
Here we go.
How are you determining who gets the wild card? Is that, like, I know you're distributing these things. How are you determining that?
The wild card is truly wild, I suppose. Based on your centaur friend's interest, I should probably share that information with everyone. So once we settle down, I'll do that.
Right, okay. Yeah, well then I guess that's all I've got. That was supposed to be a separate thing. Cool.
Woo woo. Alright, so... Hey look, there's water. And
shit.
Trees. And all your tokens. And only some amounts of snow on the ground.
Let's try and find somewhere where there's not much snow.
You know what? Seeing as there's no real need for surprises and secrecy, I'm just going to let you see the rest of this map that was awkwardly coded out before I knew how to do line of sight. Let's just clear that whole map up for you. There you go.
Go get some sticks.
That was back when I was manually drawing them as you played.
That cliff is no wait. That is where you did the ley line stuff.
Is it?
I think that's where you moved the ley lines.
Maybe.
Yeah, one of the ley lines was here, up on the little mountain cliff where all those tokens were before.
But that's not where, like, the doll was and the
No. That was on a creepy rock.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of a ritual site.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is this where the where they fought the blights for the first time?
It was one of them. You fought a lot of blights. Aiden would be very sad if he ever looked into your past.
It was a different map where we fought the blights the first time. I remember that map.
Yeah, this one did have blights on it, though. Oh yeah, if Aiden never watches replays, he's just going to be sad. You killed a lot of blights. And elementals.
Yep. Didn't do any better.
Penelope's like, I'll still kill a blight.
And I'll do it again.
I'll do it. So my computer's going super slow, so if I'm like struggling.
That's fair. There's a lot of big images open too. Anyway, you guys are making a fire.
Yeah.
So it's probably still fairly cold, even though it's April now.
Yeah, I mean it's also just a cold environment. They keep it kind of cold. Here we go. Have a fire. You should be able to drag it around if you want to.
I'm still having trouble dragging things, so just assume I am like Penelope's at the fire.
Yeah. Ooh. You can put it wherever you want. I added a token that everyone should be able to drag around if they want to. There you go.
Forest fires, no! There it is!
I'm gonna drag it into the lake. I'm kidding.
Don't burn the lady!
I might need to put it where Penelope actually is.
Oh no.
So that we can all kind of be around it.
Oh no. Oh no, Penelope's on fire!
There.
This isn't what I meant by hot girl summer, damn!
Girl winter.
Oh wait, somebody's missing.
Spooky Druid Fall.
That sounds fun. Boop. Because you left, you ran into a friend on the way, because he was originally sent to the lake to wait for you.
Oh.
Buddy!
Mer.
I'm not gonna move the token because I physically can't right now, but she's gonna run up and, or Penelope's gonna rogue up and, or bleh.
Rogue up! Rogue up! Gotta rogue up and stab him.
And we'll grab some of the twigs that are not currently in the fire and just start like healing them in a way that is good for s'mores. She is a seasoned s'mores veteran. Knowing that there's no way Aiden knows what he's doing, she just takes a marshmallow, puts it on one, and hands it to him.
So
yeah.
Don't eat it. Put it in the fire first.
Oh.
Diana's
Why would I burn it?
Just trust me.
Diana's gonna lean over and be like, Annis, I hate to say this, I'm kind of embarrassed. I've never made s'mores before.
You look over, Aiden's got a burning marshmallow. Annis!
Yeah, blow it out. So you can take the black parts off, and then it's gooey on the inside.
Just like starts peeling it. Licks the back of the like burnt marshmallow.
You can do that if you want.
I don't know, it seems
anyway,
like...
she just puts a marshmallow on the stick, hands it to Diana. Now you put it between these graham crackers.
Both.
With this chocolate, and then the chocolate melts because the marshmallow is warm and melty. And then you eat it like a sandwich.
Like, Diana. And he breaks it in half. Oh shit, it's all over here. And it's just like...
Oh, this is sticky. Ew.
You'll get it.
Nom.
Looks over at Derek, just praying that he knows what he's doing with s'mores.
Derek is a seasoned s'more expert, and he actually has already got 3 prongs of marshmallows going on 1 stick.
Bro, you're so cool.
I spent a lot of time camping to try to connect with my family, but they thought the s'mores were inappropriate, but I did it anyway. I'm a rebel.
Say, I live in this, and I don't know what this is. You're doing great. He's just like, can I have one, bro? He's just like licking his hands.
You know, there's something weird about watching a horseman eat marshmallows.
He sets Aiden up.
Yes.
What kind of are these? These aren't vegan marshmallows, are they?
Just looks at the bag.
These are made with gelatin, right?
They sure are.
Oh,
I think everyone just assumes he's vegan.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him. It's fine.
I'm gonna tell him.
You shouldn't.
Don't you do it.
Let him enjoy this.
Okay, but he should probably know that he's.
Aiden, do you want to know things that'll make you sad?
What?
You know, the first time Scribe found out that we made s'mores, he was really kind of upset. Not mad because it's Scribe, but just the look of betrayal on his face.
Yes, I don't know why we're letting Aiden eat marshmallows.
It occurred to me. It occurred to me. I'm like, ooh. Oh yeah, no. You're like, what the fuck?
Look. Aiden had marshmallows in his hot chocolate on the boat.
He has no idea.
She's like, big guy, not big guy. She doesn't call him big guy.
No, that's
Sunshine, are you alright?
Why? What's wrong? He's just like licking the fucking marshmallow off his hands. It's a mess.
How do you feel about gelatin?
What's gelatin? And he just starts eating.
Oh dear. You know
he doesn't
what?
get out much.
You know what? Enjoy your marshmallows. Enjoy them. Oh dear.
They're really yummy. He just says,
oh dear.
hey Derek, can I have some more?
Derek doesn't know what gelatin's made of. He gives you another one.
No.
Derek, please tell me those are vegan marshmallows.
I didn't bring them.
We got them from the Einzberns.
Oh dear.
Now the question is, where did they get them?
Can I see the bag? Let me see the bag. Oh dear. I
can proceed to have an attack right there.
Please don't tell him. Just let him enjoy.
Yep. I don't know that I can deal with the trauma of him realizing what marshmallows are.
They're a delicious treat, and nothing else.
A confection.
A confection. They're just sugar. They're just sugar.
Just please tell me he doesn't know about glue.
They're just sugar.
Oh, I'm so glad he does not know what glue is. We don't
paste made from flour.
The look I am getting right now.
Protective Anismoto,
Look,
go.
I'm sure we didn't all come out here to discuss the merits of marshmallows.
Okay, but I want to discuss the merits of marshmallows.
Hey, Lucretia, and he's just like licking his hand.
I
Yes?
don't know that this is a good use of the time, the very limited time that we have in our lives.
He's just like, so.
Lucretia smiles and immortal.
God.
So, that castle's a bitch.
Yes. You've taught me that word, yes. That castle stands against everything of Eldath. I do not like anything about that castle. Yeah. So, about that, wild card entry. Yeah, I need to know how to get it. Because at this point, now that there's a body, or I guess the castle can move around, I can't just, ask you, Echo. It's kind of out of your hands now. We kind of got into a fight. So,
You did make that choice, yes.
Yeah, I don't like that he got a body. I'm not gonna lie.
He's already the castle.
Yeah, but I didn't have to hear the words out of his mouth. I didn't have to hear his blasphemy.
I mean, you heard it out of a speaker box.
Oh, well then. I guess the body didn't matter. The speaker. So yeah, about that. How does one get the wild card?
That is the biggest challenge that I've encountered while planning this entire thing, because looking into the history of it, the Fifth War is a bit challenging to get information on, but the Fourth Holy Grail War had what we refer to as the Straggler. It was a person who had no business being in it, but was pulled in anyway simply because the Grail decided it needed 7 people and only 6 really qualified. And we have reason to believe this happened in the past prior, and it likely happened again in the 5th. So, in order for that to work properly, I have to let the Grail pick.
Is there a way to contact the Grail?
No.
It's in Dream's End, so forgive me for making assumptions. Does that mean that anyone that enters Dream's End that is not already a master could become the wildcard master?
It is certainly possible.
To go into Dream's End. Or anyone else?
The requirements to be a master are that you have to either perform the ritual, or if the Grail chooses you, it will choose you because you have a wish that you're willing to do anything for, because the Grail only wants people who will actually try to complete the ritual.
So would I have to do the ritual in Dream's End?
I think we all,
Technically.
I think everyone that is going to be a master will have to do that. You can't do it out here. There's not enough mana to summon a servant.
It is safe to assume that all of the servants should be summoned in Dream's End, as the area in and of itself was more capable of sustaining a servant than out here, where the world will actively work to destroy it every second it is manifest. In Dream's End, with the leftovers of history and what could have been, the servant will last much longer and could be summoned further in advance of the war if necessary.
So, it's going to be completely random then.
I don't know that it's going to be random so much as the logic of the Grail is harder to understand. At the core of the Grail is technically a terminal, the original Einzbern homunculus. Justice is there, and as the terminal of the Grail, it will be her job to ensure that there are 7 masters and 7 servants, and that the ritual is followed through to the best of its ability. So she will be selecting a 7th master based on who is present in Dream's End at the time that the ritual is ready to begin.
So...
And by extension, once she's made that selection, the 3 remaining shards of the previous Grail will need to be delivered to them, and I will need to make sure that that can happen, even if I don't know who that person is. So that's something I have to figure out between now and then.
So the only way to guarantee that you're a master is to have those shards in your hand.
Yes, that is effectively taking part in the ritual. If you have the shards that correspond to a master, then the Grail will recognize you as a master, and when you perform the summoning ritual to gain your servant, it will understand that, yes, you've effectively provided the correct password for the computer that is the ritual to send to you one of the 7 classes in the form of the servant that the Throne of Heroes provides to fill it.
So I'm confused, because you said to become a master, you have do the ritual, but you wouldn't have the stones for that. Or would you?
To become the wild card master, you would
Yeah.
either need to do the ritual and be
With-
chosen, or just have a wish good enough.
But not the stone.
Yes,
Shard?
I'm going to be relinquishing the final 3 shards to the Grail in Dream's End, and the Grail will be providing those shards to the 7th Master based on its own criteria.
Oh.
So once those shards are in someone's hand, can they be stolen, removed, transferred? Annis is kind of like clutching her hand.
That remains to be seen, but the shards themselves are effectively the command spells that correspond to a Master in a Grail War, and as such, they are not meant to be transferable. However, if a master dies, then the unused command spells return to the overseer of the Grail War and can be then given to someone else. Once the shards enter your hand, the command spells are effectively transferred into you, specifically your hand. The shards themselves will dissipate. You will not have actual pieces of a Holy Grail in your hand anymore. It's simply painful when they're added. And from there, it exists as magic on your body. And should you, say, lose that hand, it will no longer be part of your body. And someone who knows how to use that could use your hand to assume roundabout master duties. But the hope is that we will not come to that, because it's a bit much. I would recommend, if you or anyone here becomes a master, that you do not show people your command spells if they don't already know you have them, for general safety.
Wasn't planning on it.
Also, once the ritual begins, you won't want people to know how many of them you have left.
So you said if the hand is removed, do the command seals go back to you, or can someone take them and put them on themselves?
To clarify, I will not be the overseer once the event begins.
Oh.
Per the past 3 instances of this, we will have someone from the church take that role to again follow the ritual of the Holy Grail. So an overseer from the church will be provided. They will be responsible for managing the unused command spells should masters die before they've used them all.
Oh, so the master has died. Okay.
Presumably, if an arm is cut off and the master survives, then the arm will still atrophy, and eventually, as far as the command spells are concerned, the master is dead and they will return. But this is theory, because we have not tested this, obviously.
What if a person with command seals was to lose an arm or a hand before the start of the Grail War?
That would be very inconvenient for me, which is something I'm hoping will not occur. We're already cheating the system by essentially convincing the Grail that the 5th Grail War is still active to halt the ritual. What was that?
Sorry, they're over here laughing, and I'm like, Annis is concerned about her hand, you jerks.
Yeah.
She only
Look.
has 2 hands if she keeps them both.
That's right, we need them for the end goal.
Sorry if I'm asking too many questions. Inconvenient how? I'm just concerned.
The entire idea here is to convince the Grail that the 5th Holy Grail War is still at play. And so, in the event that only 5 or 6 masters show up due to hands being lost or death prematurely, it may not believe us, and it will simply continue to enact the wish of whoever won the last Grail War. If we begin this Holy Grail War and it agrees that the fifth Holy Grail is still going on, then it will stop fulfilling the current wish, meaning the mana drain will stop, or at least the most egregious part of it that's creating these bubbles will stop. And then it's simply a normal Holy Grail War going forward, which will hopefully end cleanly or fall apart in such a way that the mana is no longer pulled from the planet.
Okay.
If less than 7 masters show up, it may not accept this as a continuation, and there will be no Holy Grail War, and the world will continue to fall apart.
So, I have a question. The
Yes?
Hemlock seal is like 3 parts, right?
Yes. They are 3 pieces.
So could those 3 pieces be split amongst different people? And they could all control the same servant?
Yes, that is possible.
Okay.
However, if 3 people each have 1 command spell, and one of them uses one to aid the servant, they will no longer be a master because they will be a person who no longer has a command spell.
Got it. So basically, like, if Derek were to enter the Grail War, and he's like, "Hey, Anis, I can't do this alone, baby," and she's like,
terrible
"Yes,
impression.
absolutely, I will help you with this Grail War," and look, I'm trying, okay? But basically,
No, keep going. I want to hear this.
and he's like, "Yes, I need your super strong muscles to help me win the Grail War."
And it's just has her head
And-
in her hands.
And she's like, I will totally lend you my. Hold on, maybe this is not the right accent. I will totally lend you my mana in an all gross, nasty way. Oh God.
No.
The looks I'm getting right now.
No, it'll be in a fully nasty way.
Oh
That is in fact how we will win the Holy Grail War. We will out nasty all of you. We will actually summon the servant class. So nasty.
no. Basically, if they wanted to, if like one person was like, "Okay, I'll take 2 command seals, you take 1." Oh my God. So basically, that would work.
In a roundabout way, yes, that would work. Keeping in mind, historically, there's still supposed to be 1 wish, and that is assumed that if 2 people make it to the end of this sharing a servant, and the wish comes up, one of them will make a wish and the other will not, and they'll have to sort that out themselves, I guess. Likewise, if one of them dies, their command spell will not go to the other one. It will be returned, as is the nature of a dying master. But yes, if a master wishes to share, they can.
I mean, that's all the questions I had that weren't just like a direct thing not related to the Holy Grail War. What about you guys? Anything else? She says, shoving some more into her mouth. This is her 5th one.
Well, I could ask this privately, or I could ask this right now. I don't think you were necessarily lying about your potential wish, Lucretia, but I wonder if perhaps it's something a little more selfish. Like, say, bringing back a daughter?
I can understand why you would think that, but as I explained before, when someone dies, their soul returns to the root. So, my host's daughter returned to the root and has no doubt reincarnated between 20 and 50 times since then.
No, that's not something the Grail could do.
No, it shouldn't be able to do that. Bringing back the dead is beyond it as far as I'm aware.
Good.
Okay. I was just mostly curious.
Do you know who she reincarnated into? Or what?
That is beyond my ability to track. As I said, a person is made of three things, and while the body is new in a reincarnation, the mind is grown from a default state, so her origin presumably has found its way to other people, but an origin is not a person.
That's fair.
Part of the reason to be against the Heavens Feel solution is that if everyone becomes an immortal soul, then you don't ever have to lose anyone. But if you've already lost someone, you have an eternity of never seeing them again.
There's just many things wrong with what that is.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I just have one other question. And if you can't answer, or don't want to answer, that's fine. Will you help us fucking fight the Butcher? Because we have to fight the Butcher.
She looks over to Aiden.
Yeah, I have.
My understanding is that you have to fight the Butcher if you have a servant, and if you don't, at the start of the Grail War, your contract is void, and you don't have to fight the Butcher.
No, I'm gonna fight the Butcher. He's an enemy master. He's the king of the harvesters. I'm going to fight him.
Oh, you mean in a general sense? I have to defeat him.
Sorry?
In a general sense, I absolutely have to defeat him, as I will also be a master. In terms of whether or not we can join together to defeat him, he's in direct opposition of my objectives, as I do care about the long-term health and sustainability of phantasmal species, and I don't know what he would wish for, but I can't imagine it will be good for the... He wishes for a dragon?
He wants to fight a dragon.
You think he's going to use his wish to fight a dragon?
Honestly, yes. He's absolutely batshit crazy. And horrible. So, yeah.
That's an interesting choice on his part, and Dreams In, he'll probably find a dragon without a wish, but...
I mean, he doesn't know that. He doesn't even know where it is. Do you think I told him? No.
Honestly, I kind of expected that you would have told him by this point.
Absolutely not. I'm keeping the upper hand here. He just knows that he's gonna have a centaur, and I told him he'd have a great fight, so... You know...
So you plan to ambush him? Just to be clear, I have no issue with ambushing him. I think that's fair game.
Look, by Eldath's standards, I am going to be very defensive. He just says this very, like...
We're gonna ambush his ass!
See, Aiden can't kill him, but, I will.
Well, I mean, I was gonna put him in that jail, the church.
If there's even a way to kill him, yeah. I'll do it.
I mean, I can't stop you. You're your own person.
It's nearly impossible to kill dead apostles. There are two that we have to figure out how to kill. He's one of them. But if we can't kill him, we can at least contain him, and the church knows how to do that.
Lucretia, my own personal feelings, in the peaceful way, is I think death is too nice for him.
That is...
He needs to atone for what he did. And also those body parts that aren't his need to be laid to rest. So peacefully. Is there a peaceful word for ambush?
It's still ambush. It's a
ambush.
surprise party.
It's a surprise party.
Oh my god. Are you gonna get him a cake and balloons?
Oh, well, is this Penelope or Diet Coffee?
Who do you think it is?
Okay. Like that one cake when we were in Sherwood. I'm gonna pop my ass out of it. Surprise.
Do you actually think that there's a peaceful, nice way to remove his body parts?
Well, anesthesia.
That won't work on him.
Well then, the answer is no. But those aren't his. And they have been without rest and peace. My job is peace. So.
Do you? This is Lucretia, talking to you very directly. You understand that most peace in the world came about as a result of great violence, right?
I don't agree with peaceful negotiations. Granted, I've tried peaceful negotiating with the butcher, and unfortunately, look, it is a situation where the literal world is online. Again, would like him to be in that church jail. You all said that it holds dead apostles, right?
They apparently have dead apostles just captured, so yes, in theory.
A lot of them work for them now.
I don't think that would work with
We
him.
could put the butcher in horse prison.
I mean,
I don't think that would hold him.
Some of the dead apostles are sealed away. Others are put to work. Given the church's favoritism or lack thereof for phantasmal species, I feel like they would probably put him to work.
I've got 5 months to figure out how to kill a dead apostle. We've got to get Einosh too, so, no big deal. Just have to figure out how to kill all the beings in the next 5 months. No pressure.
If you want to kill Einosh, you just have to get to the center of the forest and destroy the core tree.
I mean, I can find more grenades.
It's a bit more dangerous than the one you faced before. You're fighting through an entire forest of those trees, and every second you're in there, your mana's being drained. There's a reason I don't visit.
Well, unlimited mana works. Let's go. We'll figure it out.
I would recommend against sending your servant in there specifically.
I mean, servants are basically just mana, so... Yeah.
You would be feeding it.
Gross.
So, Cotton Eye Joe?
You could see her demeanor shift back to the more more normal human version, and she's like, "Yep."
Nasty.
I was not very happy with how any of that went. You said that you saw how that went down?
Somewhat. There are pretty big holes in the story, because I only really saw some things. The highlights, I guess.
Did you see it from any particular perspective?
Yours?
Oh, good. Then
I didn't see you get nasty.
That doesn't bother me at this point in my life. But more to the point, could you tell what I was experiencing? Because as I recall, and my memory's a bit old on this, I didn't have a lot of say in the situation.
Yeah, I got that feeling.
Yeah. That whole situation was gross. It's the nicest thing I can say about it. The meanest thing I can say about it is if you figure out how to kill dead apostles, let me know.
Wait, so he's a dead apostle?
Not quite, but he's sufficiently immortal that I would still like a way to take care of him. He's more like a walking incarnation of a concept.
Gross.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Until he opens his mouth, good-looking guy. I can see why you went for him.
A lot of guys have that problem.
Penelope's just staring at Anna like, what? No.
I have eyes.
I do too.
You have very different tastes. She's just gesturing at Johnny.
Oh no, don't you dare bring me into this.
Look, Johnny is a vision, okay?
I don't disagree.
She's very cute and she has an ass that won't quit.
It is true. It is completely incapable of it. It is my burden.
Remain silent on the issue.
You agree with me, don't you?
I didn't
What
just,
is she doing? She's just like, well,
that, like, for Aiden, that covers all of his questions. He's like, I think, I guess.
Yeah, so, like, sidebar context for what this means for Aiden. It means that you're not going to know until close to the start of the Grail War whether or not you're the one who gets the wild card.
Going in, doing rituals and shit. He's like, all right, I gotta lose a lot of blood today. Time to do a ritual. Oh, that was the other. He does have another question. It's like, okay, so I'd have to do the ritual anyways. I mean, that's to summon a servant. Am I able to just summon a servant and not be a master? Like, what happens then if I'm not picked, but I still do the ritual? Would that not mean I still pull from?
If you try to do a summoning ritual without the Grail connecting to you as a master, then you would need to provide sufficient mana yourself to summon what is referred to in the Clock Tower as a ghost liner, which would be effectively building a servant without a class. And those tend to be very short-lived because the amount of mana it takes to keep them going is tremendous. And without a class to ground them, they are typically too big to manifest properly.
That's why she was faker. Okay.
Meta!
Yeah, I was just like an actual legitimate question.
Yeah.
You have to do
Yeah,
this
like,
anyway. Regardless.
Big scale meta, what this means for you is that you probably won't be able to summon a servant until after it decides whether or not you're a master.
And then he looks to her and he said, Justice is the one in charge. And I said the Grail and Justice, they're the same thing?
Yeah, seems like it.
So can I talk to Justice?
That would be talking to the Grail, which you will not be able to do for some time. She looks kind of awkwardly over at Echo, and then she says, the Einzberns usually have to create an interface that can interact with Justice, and that's the only one who can.
And that's not Umbrasviel, because she's entering as a master.
Correct. She should not be able to do that. It's complicated, but essentially if she were the master and she were also the interface, then she would cease to be a master and they would just lose outright. So they'll inevitably be providing some other, they call it the Lesser Grail, which will be the access to her. The shards that I've been giving to people are pieces of a previous interface, which is what allows us to connect to the Grail. But it's shattered into 21 pieces, not a single whole, so you would not be able to speak with her even if you had a piece of it. In order to give her the remaining 3 shards and let her make that decision, I will be doing a very complicated ritual within Dream's End. And relying on her to notice and do something about it, which, like so many other aspects of this, are just relying on my theory about this entire thing being correct.
So the Einzbern create another homunculus that's the interface with the Grail.
They would either create a homunculus or another item that could do this. In the 4th and 5th Holy Grail War, they used homunculi. In the 3rd, they used a physical cup, which is what was shattered. I'm not sure what they will use this time. That is something that they will bring and probably keep secret for the safety of it.
Well, all I need is to know if I can just talk to her eventually. If there's, like, having her name for me would have been beneficial with magic, but if it's blocked off until that pathway is opened, I don't need the item. Can you just tell me when it's possible to talk?
You will not be able to talk to her in advance of the Holy Grail War. She is not likely going to even be a conscious entity until the Grail War is already underway.
So she picks while she's unconscious.
Yes, she's picking on impulse, which is why I'm saying it's very hard to understand what she will pick. It's like making a decision while you're dreaming. Though for what it's worth, in the event that a master is deemed unsuitable during the Holy Grail War, she will pick another.
That's all the questions.
What was that?
That's all the questions that he...
Okay.
Cool. Are you good, Annis?
I'm good. Thank you for not giving me those shards yet. I suppose you can if you want to get them out of the way.
If you would like them, I can give them to you now, or I can give them to you later if you do not want to cover your hand for the next several months. That is up to you.
You could wear some badass gloves.
In summer.
You can wear badass lightweight gloves.
Might be it's just have it on your moment. It's not like it's going anywheres, right?
Yeah, it has to go to me.
Yeah.
Or someone else in my family, but I'm not letting any of them do it.
Would you like them now, or would you like to speak later?
I think we can speak later.
Okay.
There's no benefit to getting them early, right?
Just the understanding that you've essentially called dibs in a big sense. I have no intention of going and giving them to anyone else in your family because I think you're the most appropriate person for them. You and the Edelfelts and the Einzberns are the ones who have the most flexibility as you're required by the ritual. The Clock Tower members will no doubt be stabbing each other in the back over this for some time, so I'm going to hold off on handing out the fragments there until closer to the event, because as mentioned, I don't know what will happen if one of them does not make it to the Grail War, and I would rather not take that risk. I'm fairly confident that Ambrosviel up there will be staying in this castle until then, so there's not much risk in giving it to her now.
Yeah.
You'll note that I've not placed any in my hands, and she holds her hands up, as I still have to go through the process with the clock tower, and if I show up with command spells in one of my hands and say that there were two, or that there's one, that will raise more questions than I want to deal with.
Yeah, I can hold off for a while. If this was fall, I would just wear gloves all the time, but not in the summer.
The only real advantage to getting it sooner is if you wish to go to Dream's End early and attempt to summon your servant further in advance. One thing to note is that there's only one vessel of each class available. So, should there be a class that you prefer over the others and you have a catalyst, summoning sooner rather than later would benefit you, but that is your prerogative.
We can talk later. She holds up her phone, I guess. Do you have one of these?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I suppose we should exchange phone numbers. I can't just send to you like some people.
Of course. She reaches over and she shows you on her phone a contact for Annis, pending a phone number. Oh. If you enter your number here, I will send you a message.
It takes Annis like 5 minutes, but she does it.
You're getting faster.
She has the patience of an immortal.
Is that all you guys have? She says, eating her 8th s'more.
I mean, unless...
Annis starts entering Lucretia's name for her contact, but gets to L-U-C and is like, no, fuck this, and puts a Y and just...
Lucy!
Yeah. Look, T9 input sucks.
I was just on, like, his maybe 12th s'mores. Like, do werewolves like s'mores? Can we, I mean, it's like, we meet him tomorrow, today, does he want to join us?
I'm cutting you off, big guy.
No, what,
takes the marshmallows away from him. Hits him with a cleansing stone.
That's it.
Penelope eats her 9th s'more.
That's not fair.
I'm cutting you off, too. You're all cut off.
Why are you cutting me off? I'm an adult.
I've got a very large extra stomach to fill, full of s'mores.
I've got a halfling stomach.
I mean, I need way more than her.
No.
Johnny hands Penelope a s'more.
That's not fair!
Hey!
Derek!
Eats her 10th s'more.
This was a terrible idea.
So yeah, do werewolves like s'mores? It just like looks over to Echo.
I don't believe so. I don't think they've had s'mores.
Fair, same.
I think we could maybe have enticed him with those little sausages that you see Americans roasting over fires sometimes.
Maybe some milk bones. I don't know how werewolves work.
They're still people. They're not dogs.
Oh, I told you I don't know how they work.
I know. I'm educating you.
Okay.
I suppose he might enjoy marshmallows. I never really thought to provide them. He doesn't tend to prefer such processed animal.
Wait. Say that again, Echo?
Don't tell him.
No. What did you just say?
I said that he's not a dog.
Marshmallows are just sugar. They're just sugar that has been whipped a lot so that it's nice and light and fluffy. Just sugar.
He just insight rolls.
11th
Sure.
s'more. Don't ask me where she got the 11th s'more.
I nat one. I fucking believe you, baby.
You absolutely.
No, look at what I roll. You fucking bet you do. Taking this secret to the grave, she just glares around everyone. She's making eye contact with everyone, including the wolf. Like, they are just sugar that has been really processed. It's a human thing. It's a dumb, stupid human invention.
It's my third nat one in a row, guys.
I'm entertained.
I'm just like, Jesus. It's okay. Look, his trust for Annis, it's still up here. So he's like, alright, cool.
Ooh, there's something wrong with my fantasy grounds.
No, that was all of us. That die was having trouble.
It was.
That wasn't you.
Fantasy grounds have been acting for me like all night.
I think the Einzbern map is a lot.
Probably.
It's got a lot of layers to it, and they're all huge pictures, so it's probably just lagging on you. Like, regardless of anything else going on your system, I think it's not helping.
Yeah.
Look, we can wake up and we can have some breakfast and we can meet the werewolf man and then we can take things from there.
Oh, we still need to introduce Aiden to Gunter.
Yes, unless he is the werewolf.
Dun dun dun.
The echo.
No.
Well, there goes my theory. we can see. Gunter.
That would be a really fun reveal, but no, he's not.
So yeah.
And I think Johnny would like to meet Gunter as well.
This is the chili guy, right?
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Oh, no,
Do I have to put on all my makeup?
You know what? Probably, but.
All right.
But.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
Johnny is bright red.
I'm a horse.
You can put
Man.
on a horse head.
I mean, that is what I'm.
Yeah.
Wait, are we
Wait,
pretending
yeah.
that disguise works?
You know, look.
He's a cowboy enthusiast. He's gonna know what a horse looks like.
It's a very good horse head.
No, it's not.
What, are you gonna make one better, Kwaku?
I could.
Well, maybe I would appreciate that. Maybe
Yeah,
I'd appreciate you.
Give me an hour. I'll make a better one.
Yeah,
Wow.
do it.
Wow.
Challenge mode.
All right, horse off. I'm gonna go make one too.
So, all right, Anis, what do you think? Can Kwaku make a better horse head disguise for Aiden, or do you think Aiden can make a better horse head disguise for Aiden?
Kwaku,
Wow. Wow.
have you seen your horse head?
It's great.
Have you seen Raps?
He's very cute.
Mrr.
I don't know that cute is the right word.
Raps.
Mrr.
Very well
Whoa.
Aiden just
constructed.
like walks over. I think you're cute. And he just puts a hand on his shoulder.
He's a big mummy man.
He's got a way with words.
I mean, but you've also seen Kwaku's work on the golem.
I don't like that word.
Okay, look at your shoes. Remember who made them?
Yeah, but I'm talking about.
Do you remember my badass viola? She poisoned her viola. Do you know who made this thing?
Okay, well, can you make it look like this horse head? You know, this is kind of like. This is me.
You mean you want it to look like that, but like believable?
You know, Kwaku. You want to be such a butt.
Look, you're the one who is buying horse heads at Party City and trying to pass them off as mystic coats.
I made this.
I'm so sorry. I'm impressed that you made a Party City.
It's not a party. I used my own hair.
What did you make the mouth out of?
Okay, so I found some bark that was leftovers. I dried it out, I shaped it, and then I attached it with paste and my hair. Oh, and
Wait, where did you get paste?
You just take some water, and you take some sap, and then you just everything.
Yes, I can make a better horse head than you.
Well, if you could potentially make that horse head some sort of proving against people seeing me.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a thing where people don't notice you when you're wearing it. That's the best I can do for you.
Cool.
Oh, but will it slow down your progress on the little golem boy?
Good. You should do this
He
first.
just
then.
said he could do it in an hour, so I think it'll be fine.
I'll do it on my breakfast break.
God.
I need to see this.
Do I have to give you anything? I have, the...
He works for stories.
Yeah, tell me an interesting story from your people, and then we'll call it even.
Okay, I can do that. cool. I'll tell you a story, I guess, over breakfast.
Yeah, talk to me while I'm doing it. We'll knock it out together.
Okay, down.
And at some point, I need to tell you a little more in detail about all the shit we went through on the boat. I did tell you I'd tell you that.
Oh, I'm sure there's no shortage of stories here, too.
Okay, so I didn't drag Penelope into the fire, but I can't move her. I was trying to move her so that she's standing by Lucretia, and now she's just running away, apparently.
I have moved her.
Okay, cool. She's gonna tap Lucretia, or she's gonna reach like she's gonna tap Lucretia on the arm, and she's like, wait, is it okay if I noticed Diana was touching your arm earlier,
Yes?
and you told me I could not touch your arm. In case you accidentally gave me the shard.
That was when I was actually carrying it.
Oh.
I have it better concealed now.
Okay,
I didn't want to touch your arm while I was still handling one.
Gotcha. Okay, well then in that case, first order of business, I have been holding one of these for you for a few days now, and she just gives Lucretia a big hug.
She accepts it.
I have wanted this hug for so many days. Like, maybe only 4 days, but I've wanted this hug.
I mean, it's felt like months.
Honestly.
She is warmer than you expected.
Ooh. You're really warm.
I do what I can.
Well, I'm still hugging you, but I'm gonna ask you the next question while I'm hugging you, if that's okay.
As long as the question's not very awkward, sure.
Sorry, that's just the look I just got. So, you know the thing I texted you about? With a certain something and dreams?
Yes. Is that something you want to discuss here or later?
I mean, if we can discuss it separately, like, that would be great.
Sure, not a problem. I have a feeling there will be no shortage of people having side conversations in the coming hours.
Oh dear. I'm also just, like, curious if basically if we can do something similar to what we did with Scribe, where people go into a dreamscape.
Indeed.
You're not even there.
Sorry, I thought this was still by the
No, I mean it is, but I'm talking directly to Lucretia.
Yeah. It is possible for others to enter a dreamscape. It is always risky, as you learned last time. There's certainly the risk of unwanted visitors if you invite them in, but we can do that if you would like.
I need a way to confront her directly.
It would be difficult to enter your own dreamscape. You would be relying on your friends for that part.
Oh.
It's like trying to see inside of your own head.
Then, if that doesn't work, then I at least need help confronting her. She approached me in my dreams the other night and said that she wanted to talk. And that she wasn't gonna take no for an answer. But that she wasn't gonna make me sign any deals or agree to anything.
Has she told you what she wants, or does... I suppose that is within the nature of that talk.
She basically wants to talk to me before things get too crazy. And before I get in over my head, is what she said.
It's fair enough, I suppose. We can... This is a bit strange, but if you wish, similar to before, you can enter someone else's dreamscape and call her there if they consent, and then you'll be on equal footing.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
You would, of course, need someone to agree to open their dreams to you.
That might be the harder part. She just looks around at everybody around the campfire and she's like, shit.
Were you talking quietly enough that anyone... I mean, I'm right on the other side of Lucretia.
I mean, you can probably hear what Lucretia's saying. I'd be like, hey guys, would anybody be willing to lend me their dreamscape for like a little bit? So I can confront Morgan Le Fay on even footing?
Yeah, why not?
Is that
Yeah, like,
dangerous? That sounds dangerous.
Well, it wasn't super dangerous when we went into Scribe's head.
I mean, that you would be allowing her, Morgan, into your head too, possibly.
I mean, if Annis will play host, then I'm happy to join in if I get to beat up a evil fairy lady from Arthurian legend in my friend's head. Can we fight in your head, Annis? Is that allowed? Yeah, Annis, can we fight in your head?
Does it hurt?
It shouldn't, but it's not usually done. The biggest risk to you as the host of this is simply that your subconscious is wandering. As you saw from Scribe, he didn't have much say in what secrets were and were not made available. He just happens to be an incredibly stagnant person, so his dreamscape was stable.
I don't have that many secrets in the grand scheme of things. Just... I've been nasty a lot in my life.
Oh no!
That's the first.
Oh no.
Why does her entire brain have Muzak playing?
Why is Careless Whisper just on loop in the background?
Where's
Like
that damn saxophone?
Probably not just going to be that. I have other memories that are not just that.
Would you be okay with us potentially not seeing being that, but seeing your memories? Maybe?
I don't have a whole lot of big secrets or anything like that. As far as
Cuts
I can
to-
tell.
It cuts to Annis using a game genie to get a Mew.
No! That's my biggest shame. I mean, near as I can tell, nothing I've done in my life is much more embarrassing than anything most people have done. Do you want somewhere to confront
yeah,
Morgan
I
Le
mean,
Fay or not?
I do. But only if you're okay with it.
The more you discuss it, the less likely I am to agree. Just take it. Just take it.
Okay, I'm taking it. Yeah.
Very well. Is that something you wish to do tonight or at a later time and in a more comfortable place?
I'm gonna leave that up to Annis since we're going into her brain.
I don't care. Are you prepared to go fight monsters in my brain?
I'm not gonna fight a monster.
She turns to Johnny and Derek. Are you prepared to go fight monsters in my brain?
Annis, I mostly want to be there so that if she tries to mess around with your brain, I can punch her in the face.
Are you prepared to punch evil fairies in the face in my brain tonight?
I mean, I got time, sure.
Okay,
Johnny's going to look over to Penelope, and Johnny's going to be like, are you ready for that right now? Or I guess it's kind of weird to ask if you want to sleep on it.
I mean, I feel like if I sleep on it again, she's just gonna keep coming back and being like, "Hey, we gotta talk. We gotta talk," and I'm just gonna be like, "Oh my fucking god!"
Yes, get it over with. Yeah.
Yeah, Aiden, do you want to go in?
Keep your secret location secret. They'll never. I'll make sure they stay in one spot, is what I'm getting at.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I won't give away your Wi-Fi password. You don't have one.
What is?
Don't worry about it.
What is Wi-Fi?
Don't worry about it. It's the same thing you use to log on to Electronic Bay.
Log on? She just points over at a log.
Oh dear.
Thumbs up from Iden. I think I'm getting the hang of this.
Electronic Bay is where we put all of those grails.
Don't say anything about Vivi.
Right, sorry.
We don't talk about Vivi.
That's a bit early.
Iden's gonna make sure they stay away, so they don't go roaming around in Mrs. Brain. Keep it safe, keep it secret.
Yeah, let's do this.
So DM, are you prepared?
So, while I could definitely do that now, I think a Dreamscape episode is the appropriate thing to do in a big round number episode. Because I would like to talk to you for a little bit before we do that. Because I think given it's inside of your head, you might have fun coming up with some of the places people end up.
Well,
I mean,
Well, Why don't we sleep on it? And then where were we going after this? Back to London?
yeah, I mean, I guess in the morning we were gonna go visit Gunter and then have London.
So, I really don't know how it works, but it'd probably be better for me to be better rested.
That's fine.
Not that I'm not okay with you rummaging around in my head, but maybe
do it in the
Yeah.
give me some time to prepare for it.
Yeah, well, we can do it back at the shop.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll be super comfy.
Ignatius,
Yeah,
if you want.
keep Buck out of my head.
Buck will not be allowed in your head.
Okay.
He doesn't deserve those secrets. Okay, so then we'll do this when we get back to your shop. Yeah. I guess for now we can head back and go back to sleep. Or not back to sleep, go to sleep. Jeez.
And you can tell Morgan to fuck off and that you will see her tomorrow night.
Look, if she pops into my dreams tonight, I'll make her let me talk this time. And be like, bitch, we'll talk.
To roll another d20 for sleep. Another natural one.
Lord.
Over and over.
Hey, you roll D100 for sleep. It's more exciting that way.
But yeah, so. I just realized I'm still hugging Lucretia.
That time is a relative concept for me.
Look, you're very warm and you're very huggable.
Thank you.
And I'm sad I didn't get to do this earlier. But yeah. She's gonna stop hugging Lucretia.
Wouldn't be us without a
And hug.
awkward hug, would it?
And
What?
Johnny walks behind you and hug.
Yay! And she just turns around and hugs Johnny. She's like, this hug is not gonna end.
That is okay.
You realize we're probably gonna be hugging for the next 12 hours, right?
I have accepted this fate.
Don't be nasty.
Look, it's a hug, Annis. I don't know how you get nasty. This is a hug.
If you're not careful, you're going to find out how she gets nasty.
I mean, I will be nice and not say what I was going to say.
What were you gonna say?
No.
I'm gonna prepare for us to sleep. And Aiden just like walks over and he like gets himself in the fucking lake.
The lake is very cold.
That's fucking right. But I'm required to be in the water, baby. Prayer time.
So you're going back to the castle.
I mean, I said I'd come. Well,
Aka's
yeah.
cabin is not that big. We could probably all fit there, but should we?
I'll just go back to the castle. Like I said, it'll probably give me maybe not like friend points, because that's not a thing, but they'll at least realize that I'm not going like, I don't trust you. I don't know. I've slept there before and didn't die. It's fine.
I mean, I've been sleeping there for like a month.
Exactly.
Well, I made it pretty clear that he does not want to sleep in the castle.
Yep, and he's just like,
I don't think we should let the centaur man be on his own in these haunted-ass woods.
No.
Also, the castle's a bitch. I don't want to sleep in that castle.
that's
fair.
right.
So do we just want to meet up at the castle in the morning? Or I can...
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Or no, how about this? I'll meet you guys at Echo's cabin in the morning. And then we can just go out from there.
Yes. Yeah, so long as we get to meet the werewolf that I've
Yeah.
been hearing about.
Yeah.
I'll let him know that you're coming.
Cool.
You're not afraid of werewolves, right?
Who, me?
Any of you.
Well, I've never met one.
Yeah.
They have a reputation, that's all.
I mean, the concept of werewolves is a little scary, but like, there's so many different versions of werewolves, and I've never met one in person, so it wouldn't be fair for me to be like, ah, oh no, a werewolf, and then it turns out they're just like super chill.
I don't know if any would have actually been in his.
No, you do not have any werewolves.
Cool. I didn't think
He seemed somewhat nice when I briefly talked to him way back when, like a month ago.
He's remarkably nice. He's just very direct. He doesn't like to waste time.
That's fair.
I think it's got something to do with... He gets frustrated when people won't just say how they feel. Yeah, everybody feel with that.
I'm in danger!
I'm in danger!
I'm gonna get along with him great.
Like, that's the thing. Like, werewolves can get along with homunculi because they don't generally operate on the two levels.
Woo.
We're back on. He's like, okay,
Yeah, then
I'm done.
we'll see you guys in the morning.
Cleansing stone.
Oh, I took his tabard off. He doesn't go in with his clothes on.
Oh.
Oh, so you just, like, strip down right there?
Oh, absolutely. He's been shirtless before. In front
Horse nudity.
Your
Bam.
fur is all wet.
No, he didn't have the head on. Oh, his fur. Yeah,
You are a horse.
yeah. I mean, that takes it.
You're gonna freeze to death, cleansing stone.
Diana, you just saw a naked himbo. Everyone else is kind of used to Aiden by this point, but it's new for you.
Wait, what? Oh, that was at Diana. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
see, all
god.
of it.
Look, oh Jesus. Those are some abs.
Don't hold it against him. He's cold.
Look. He could probably cut glass with those nipples right now.
Put on clothes.
He's already trying to put on his tabard. He's like, I needed to
I'm
print.
just... I don't know how to feel right now. Those are very imposing abs, but also very terrifying nipples. Please put a shirt on, Mr. Centaur.
You're like eye height with them too, aren't you?
Yep,
No, he's. Oh, wait, how tall is she?
she's 5'6".
She's about eye height with that part of Iden.
Yeah. She's like, oh dear. She's just like turning and looking at it, and it's like, how often?
You get used to it.
Oh god.
It's easier if you just think of him as a horse who happens to have a guy on top.
It's true.
That doesn't help.
It's already back on. He just can't get his tabard weapon.
Like, does Eldeath require you to get naked in the water?
Required to get in the water, but why would I get my clothes? I think it's a little silly. It's cold out.
Eldeath doesn't give you guys the thing where you just repel the water. Ugh.
We embrace.
Well. She's just like bright red right now. She's like,
He's like, I'm ready for sleep. I don't know about the
I
rest of
mean-
you. He just like pulls out a blanket. He just like curls up right there. He's like,
Were we not going to the cabin?
well then, you can lead the way.
I've only been there once.
Looks to Echo. Can you lead the
It was
way?
from the opposite direction. We went to the cabin first, then we went to the castle.
Do you want to go there the most direct way, or the way that doesn't go by a pile of corpses?
Let's take the scenic route.
Okay.
When that scenery is not a pile of corpses, please. Last time we were at that pile of corpses, a big old bone snake attacked us. I'd rather not repeat that.
That is fair.
Buried? No one's buried.
We're not going to see the corpses. I do not want to see the corpses.
Like, he's remembering this for later. They're not something that he's doing now. Remembering this.
I mean, to be fair, I turned into a wolf and Penelope was able to ride on my back, and that was pretty cool.
that was pretty cool. But we're not gonna go. I mean, I'm not gonna go see the
We're not
corpses
going to
regardless.
we're not going to Corpse Mountain.
No, nobody wants to go to Corpse Mountain.
Exactly.
All right, so she's going to take you the roundabout way where you don't go by the corpse mountain. And I guess I'm going to move you to the left and to the right on here to make sure I understand where everyone's going. So everyone on the left going back to the castle. Everyone on the right is going to the cabin.
Yeah.
Where's Diana going?
She'll go to the castle?
Okay.
I just can't move her.
Yeah, that's fine. Does this look right?
She's gonna be like, no offense, Echo, I don't know if there will be room for me. Also, I just met you, so I think I'm going to stick with the castle if that's alright.
That doesn't bother me at all.
Okay. I'm glad you understand. I guess good night, everyone else. So, yeah, have a good night, guys. We'll see you bright and early.
Okay, so you're all split off in different directions.
Yeah.
Is anyone doing anything else tonight, or can we get on to dream rolling?
Dream
Dream
roll!
roll!
Dream roll! Dream roll!
We rolled
All right.
100.
Oh,
D100s.
Maybe it'll actually let me roll this time.
Wow, I rolled a 20 and a 0.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, that's a good one.
She chugging.
Mm-hmm. I
Yep.
fear Mom.
You're having second thoughts about that dreamscape. You're like, after this dream, I don't know if I want.
All right, that's a Diana. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll start with Penelope's because it's the one that's most plot relevant. So, Penelope, you find yourself sitting in the lobby of the White Witch Saloon with Johnny and Gunter, and over in front of the building, you can see Iden conversing with the little pop in a quarter to ride a horse thing.
Of course.
Of course. He does not quite seem to understand that it is not, in fact, a living horse, because this is your subconscious view of Iden right now. But more to the point, while you're sitting around and you're enjoying the common room, like, there are a bunch of the locals who work in the nearby mines area are gathered around, and you're all telling stories back and forth, and you're having fun. And unlike the first time when you came here, they're speaking in a language you understand, so you can actually understand what's going on. And as the stories are back and forth, you hop up on the little stage, and you call out to the crowd, and you let them know you're gonna, play some music, and it'll be great. And does anyone have any requests? And someone calls out a song that you play it. Someone else calls out another song that you don't know, but they hum a little bit, and you know the tune just enough to run with it. You play it. And then the third one who reaches a hand up is Morgan. And she's like, yes, I'd be liking a conversation if that could be possible.
All right, look, you. We're gonna talk, but it's not gonna be here.
Is it the chili? Is that why?
No.
And what's the deal?
I want to talk on even footing.
Okay, what's that entail?
So we're going to go someone else's dreamscape, and we're going to talk there.
All right, if you can do that little summon thing that you did before to bring me in, I'll be happy to meet you wherever you wish.
Okay. So we'll talk there. Now, what song do you want to hear?
Let's see. You know what? Because it'll annoy people that I know about this. Are you familiar with the soundtrack to Spam-A-Lot?
I am, actually.
Well, then get to it.
Oh. You have to pick a specific song, otherwise I'm not going to do it.
Pick the song that you think would probably be the most annoying to King Arthur.
No. You know what? I'll do one better. I'm gonna play Brave Sir Robin from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And you're gonna like it.
Fair enough.
And she proceeds to sing it.
The people in the area all sing along, and fun is had, and you have an otherwise peaceful dream.
Yeah.
Because you broke a 70.
Woohoo!
Diana, in your dream, you've been through a lot. This whole last few days was exhausting, but thankfully you find yourself comfortably lying down on the beach. Sunny weather, it's peaceful, no one's bothering you. And as you turn your head and you look around on the beach, you can see a bunch of guys playing volleyball. And they're all centaurs.
No!
And you're not really sure what to do with that knowledge. So you just turn your head the other way and don't look at them anymore. And when you're looking the other way, what you can see are a bunch of people jogging on the beach, and they're not centaurs, which is nice, and you feel comfortable. And then you look back, and all of the people playing volleyball are also not centaurs, and then you just have a generally nice dream from that point forward. It's just nice and peaceful, no real issues, fairly comfortable. And then just as your dream is fading away, you hear a voice behind you, and you recognize the voice as Nimue, and she says down to you, "Don't think I didn't see that." And then the dream is over.
Oh no.
Get you in trouble
Oh
with your
no.
facts.
No. Oh no. Oh no.
Yes!
Iden.
And now I see people. And I turn around, and then turn back, and they're not people; they're centaurs.
La gasp.
Yeah.
No, Aiden, you find yourself in your grove. You're in your grove with your little dryads, who have at this point grown a little bit bigger. Like they're actually up and about. Like I say about, they're not moving a whole lot, but they're up. You can interact with them. It's fairly peaceful in here. And as you go about, talking to each of them, hugging them, giving them attention, you get visitors. And the visitors are like the people from your village. They're just there, like even people who have no idea. Like Sordel's there, like, like Owl Mom is there. They're all there. They're all getting along great with the various dryads around there. They're all seem to be bonding. This is a pretty nice and positive experience that you're having here. And Juniper is coming along nicely in like her new form. It's pretty peaceful, and as all of this is going on, you're looking around, and you see Sordel over here. You see Owl Mom, of course, is there. She's very comforting, and she's teaching the little plants about the ways of Eldath and things like that, which is nice. And then as they're moving about on the edge of your grove, you simply see the butcher looking between the trees at all of you. And he starts to walk up, and he sits down in the middle of it, and then he looks over to you and he says, "I'm not really stalking now, am I? Just hanging out, taking in the sights. They're not going anywhere, right?"
I think Aiden snaps, like, right there. He's just, like, fucking losing it.
And that's the end of that dream.
He is awake, his hands are out, like, this is the most aggressive. His hands are like this. And by this, you can't see it, but he's making choking motions with his fucking hands.
This is an audio medium.
This is like, Eldath might need to have an intervention. He just can't, ooh. And you just hear him just yell, "No!" And just, yeah, that's how he wakes up.
That's fair. Okay, and so Annis, you are in your shop, and you are going through a workday. And in your workday, you have a number of visitors. You've got your annoying clients, your good clients. No one too weird, like normal healing potion. Some young clock tower students looking for enhanced ability intelligence to get through their next test. Lots of stuff that maybe would be pretty standard. It's kind of a peaceful day. And as you're working through this, you see your cousins come and go. You see Vivi in the Hither Saxcoat disguise comes by, places an order. A number of the people that you've met over time come and go, but it's a pretty peaceful day. And then at the end of your shift, you flip the sign around and you head out to the back where you find like Derek is hanging out. He's apparently been talking with Buck, going through his routine. It's a pretty good day overall. There's no high stakes, there's no drama, nothing's really rushing. And as this is going on, you and Derek then head upstairs to have a nice night in. You take some time to read a book. He's also reading books. His books are comic books, but he's reading them. And it's really peaceful. And as you're going through all of this stuff, Derek eventually asks you, "This is a lot nicer than back when we had to go running all over the place, trying to save everything, trying to fight everything, right? Like, I do enjoy it, honestly. as I've always said, I like a good team up. I like to go out and save the day, but I mean, no scary horse monsters, no fighting against trees, no creepy spores, people turning into statues, none of that stuff. It's just peaceful, you know? Like, this could just be it, right? Like, this could just be our way out. Like, we don't have to go do all that. We can just enjoy our lives together. We don't have to go and fight in a Holy Grail War. You don't have to worry about getting your arm chopped off and used by the butcher to do crazy magic shit. You don't have to be afraid of being somewhere where the entire city gets burned to the ground, or whole areas just disappear, or Nazis show up and ruin everything. Like, what I'm saying is, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to be the person that goes? Or maybe what you want to do is you simply want to go and summon a servant, send the servant on a warpath, and leave. Like, get out. You don't have to try to fight to win, right? And as he's saying these things, you know that this feels a little bit off. It doesn't sound in character to him. And then you look out the window and you can see, even though this is the second floor, you can see Freddy outside, and you're getting the impression that he's counting on you, and that if you're going to go through all of this stuff for Freddy, it's going to be hard. It's going to be dangerous. You and your friends could die. And this entire wonderful, peaceful day that could be every day for the rest of your life could be taken away from you if you go through with this. It's an uncomfortable feeling. It's a feeling that, how far in do you want to go, and how much do you want to deal with when you have so much to potentially lose? Is this your problem? Is this something that you have to do? Or can you simply show up, fulfill the obligation, and leave? Do you have to go hunt the butcher? Do you have to go get involved in this? Like, maybe someone else can solve it for you. It's an uncomfortable feeling that you don't really have an answer for in the dream. And then you hear the voice of Aiden screaming, shouting something. You don't really know what. You don't see him around you anywhere. And then you wake up and you can see him across the cabin, reaching out with his hand towards something you can't see in a menacing way.
You okay there, big guy?
He was there. Butcher, there.
You sure you didn't just dream it?
I know. And he's like panicking.
Is it still dark, or is it like starting to become dawn?
It's the sun is starting to do the pre-dawn light. Like, it's not actually come over the horizon yet, but it's starting to light up. If you were to get up right now, it would have counted as a full rest. It's just early. It's earlier than you usually get up.
Is breathing heavily. We've had too many encounters with people that can be in dreams for me to tell if this is reality.
Yeah, we can't assume anything is beyond him.
He saw the children, if he was actually there, and I'm not going crazy. And he said he wasn't stalking, hanging out. And he asked if they were going to stay there. I don't know. I mean, obviously I didn't travel there. It's not like he knows where, but he knows they exist. If I feel like I'm going crazy and I keep having these dreams, and it's either I see Archon and Soren, or I'm seeing Butcher, and I don't know if it's a vision from Eldath, him being in my head. Einosh in there taunting about my children, and I don't know if that's in there because, as far as we know, I mean, Lucretia is a dead apostle and can go into dreams. What's to say the other dead apostles can't?
I think Lucretia's specifically got the ability to send people into other people's dreams.
Who's to say it's not just high levels of magic?
Well,
I feel like I'm going crazy. I can't tell anymore.
I think the only way to know for sure would be to go into your dreamscape, but...
You don't want to go in there. I don't want to show that to anyone.
Well...
I don't want to relive that.
You're awake now. You're awake now. Do you want some tea? She's just gonna, like, pull the kettle, the stolen kettle and mugs out of her bag.
I
Produce flame to get the water boiling.
Yeah, he's just like, sleep has been not fun recently.
But you're sleeping.
Yeah. I don't know if at this point the
Pouring
no
water.
sleep was a curse or a blessing.
Just take it one step at a time.
Okay.
Sometimes, I mean, I can't say for sure if these things are showing up for real in your dreams or if it's just... Dreams are a way of processing what's going on in the day. I think I've heard that from somebody. So it might just be your brain, you know, tumbling things around in your head to try and make sense of them.
And that's what our prayers are for, to process. That's what we... it's never been this vivid. It's never been like this.
Have you, in any point in your life, gone on a boat with a whole lot of extremely dangerous people? Have you ever traveled to Germany and
No.
had to fucking talk to a bitchy castle?
I do not like that. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page.
I'm glad that the body that's being built for him is a little nerd, because I can bully him. I hate that he's the whole castle, though. Very hard to bully a castle. But we couldn't let that tree stay.
No.
Helping him was the right thing to do.
Oh, of course. He just doesn't understand what you all have done. That
No.
in itself is... it's fresh.
Obviously, we can't let him have his wish.
No. Yeah, about that. I'm really uncomfortable with the fact that Miss Umbra is the...
Better her than someone that I actually care about, like Echo.
You say in Echo's cabin?
Yeah, he's just like... I don't like that her life will cease if she... or even apparently if she doesn't, that she won't be as long-lived as Echo.
Echo's a special case. They usually don't stick around for that long, from what I've heard. It's kind of despicable, and I hate it.
I don't like how he's using
It's true that we don't last very long.
Oh, good morning.
I don't sleep.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to have disturbed your peace and quiet.
You're fine. I get too much of that.
Your castle is a bitch.
Yes.
Your sisters are cool.
I live out here.
Even Umbra, I really want to hate Umbra. It'll make it a lot easier to fight her if I don't like her. That's why I didn't even want to meet her.
Fair.
She's very young. She's still learning, and hopefully she'll learn a little better. But in the meantime, be careful. She also doesn't sleep, and she's very pragmatic from what I can tell.
Too pragmatic.
In her approach to a Holy Grail War, she's going to seek out the quickest and weakest point in each team. Which means she's probably going to aim for the masters and not the servants.
She's made that clear.
Yeah.
So is your castle.
And look, I'm kind of doomed to be in this Grail War. I can't let it go to anyone else in my family. I have to be a master, but you don't have to be a master. Like, I know you want to fix the mana problem, but from what I understand, you could get the Grail and wish for a cream cheese sandwich, and it would fix the mana problem.
Unless I can guarantee that you win, I have to be in. And I want to make sure I am by your side, absolutely.
Thing is, if I can accomplish what I want without needing the Grail, I don't really have a solid wish. It very much aligns with what Lucretia said her wish was, if that truly is her wish.
I'm slightly concerned about the
manipulating
that's
people's
kind of
minds.
what
That's a little bit of a problem, yeah.
We dealt with that in the Druid. That was the whole thing with not Margaret. Fuck her name. The one that
Margaret.
Yeah.
No, it was the other one. She asked about Van-Fem as we
That's
were
right.
looking.
That's right.
I'm losing her name. But it's the same thing that she wanted. She was going to manipulate people, and as much as I would like to push people in a direction, I would like them to do it willingly, altering somebody's mind.
Sorry, I muted a Discord conversation 3 hours ago.
It's just, I don't know how I feel. I don't like people being manipulated.
No, that's not the right way to go about it either. It's gonna have to be just a lot of hard work, honestly, and it's not something the Grail can do, I don't think.
I don't think so.
But a well thought out wish on the Grail could help for sure. But
that is something that I would.
Okay, but is your wish just fix the mana?
If there's a way, and it is not too large, it would be when we go back to London, ask Sir El-Melloi, or even Sir Zelrat. If there is a way, case by case, fix Origin Awake, we can help Scribe and anyone else that has been affected by that shit. And that helps cure the mana as well. That would be my wish.
I mean,
look how much he's lost.
Lucretia has made it pretty clear that so long as a wish happens, the mana will fix itself.
Yeah.
Granted, that doesn't mean we should let the butcher fight his dragon or whatever.
No. But if there's a way to help people that have been altered against their will, and I mean, look at what he's done in the past. He can help with our future, absolutely, if he was back to his old self. He did everything. And now he does nothing. And that was taken from him in the blink of an eye.
That might be a question for Lucretia. She seems to have a pretty good grasp on what would be possible with the Grail, and she seems to know a lot about origins.
You know, I do need to ask her if there's a way to be able to study to see them. Honestly, it brings the question of if Einosh's origin is awakened with how hellbent he was and how destructive he was. It's not impossible.
Well, anyway, I think you can't count on getting those command seals. It's not like we could just go chop Umbra Spiel's arm off and give them to you. That's not going to work.
It's very complicated.
It could jeopardize the whole entire Grail War itself. So we can't do that.
I would prefer not to hurt people or chop off hands specifically, unless they didn't belong to people, I guess. That's still a question. Either way, I need to get in there. I need to be able to protect people. I can help others with it. But mostly I'm doing this so our mom gets fixed. My people don't go to the other side. What they're planning to do. And I don't know if I can stop them at this.
Yeah, and the Grail War is not for 5 months, so by the time it happens, it might be too late. They're voting really soon about whether they're going.
I've tried everything. I've tried talking to Philfack, and I know he's talked to them, and I tried talking to Yer. And somehow, I don't even understand because we haven't been in contact for what I thought thousands of years. Somehow they have contact with kin over there, and they're making plans. And it's happening so fast on that side too, and I don't even know. I've tried warning them, and I even told them about, you know, if they tried using the bubble that Penelope sealed, that, you know, that's dangerous. Like, they'll be torn apart. So I don't even know where they're going at this point. It can't be in the pool. And Penelope's not going to do that. I won't allow her, because then more land sharks would come through. Not that she would want it anyways, but I don't know where they're going. I don't know how. And all I can do is keep telling them how dangerous it is, and they're not listening.
Well, all I know is I've got 5 months to figure out how to kill a dead apostle, figure out how to fix Freddy, figure out who I'm summoning, find a catalyst.
Yep.
Figure out how to deal with that fucking shadow that almost ate me.
We need a lot of light. Light that somehow it can't get rid of. Douse.
Anyway, let's go meet the fucking werewolf.
Okay.
Hurrah.
Hurrah.
Penelope knocks on the door of the cabin. Knock, 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 knock.
Creak. Good morning.
Good morning!
You've had more coffee than me.
Yes, probably. I've had 3 pots already.
Yep, that's
I
more
thought
than me.
I was cutting back, but apparently not. Joke's on me.
Where do you even put all of it?
In my mouth. Don't be nasty.
I wasn't even... it's too early in the morning for me to be nasty.
Well, we can go meet this werewolf, and we'll meet Gunter, and you can have coffee, and...
I mean, I've already had coffee.
Oh,
Hi, Shelly.
well, you can have more coffee, as is the halfling way.
Did you have a weird dream?
I had a dream where we went to see Gunter, and then Morgan showed up, of course. But, you know, I told her, bitch, no, we're gonna meet on equal footing. We're gonna meet in someone else's head. And she's like, okay, fine. And then she tried to get me to sing the entire soundtrack from Spamalot, and I told her no. And then I sang the Sir Robin song from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and I was like, bitch, this is what I'm singing for you. Get over it.
You just said a whole lot of stuff that I don't understand. Just drinking coffee.
Sips more tea, nods along.
Let's go meet the werewolf.
Penelope, you have been tasked to give an item to Aiden.
What?
Kwaku gave you something before you left to deliver to him because he wasn't going to be there at breakfast.
Shit.
Oh no, I thought we were gonna have it together. Rip. Oh well. He'll tell him the story later.
You get a box.
Okay. Hey, Aiden. Box. Here you go.
He like opens
It's from
it.
Kwaku.
Ooh.
Is it your birthday?
I don't think so.
No.
There is a small light veil inside of it.
A veil.
Are you
And a
kidding me?
note. Right. And there's a note in there, and on the note it says, "Put this on your face. It's lighter than a mask, but everyone will think you're a horse."
He just takes it and he puts it on.
I will add an item to your inventory so that you can see how this works for the future.
Haku. Yes.
So, I don't know if I should be sarcastic or genuine when I say, oh my god, there's a horse in here. I don't know which would be funnier.
When he puts it on,
Horse time.
it's a believable horse. Complete with smell.
Oh no, that ooh.
When did that horse get in here?
That's a
Still me.
You can hear a voice, but you don't see it coming out of the horse's mouth.
It's
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Why does it? Why
It's
does
very
it
convincing.
smell like a horse?
It's very convincing.
Aiden, why do you smell like a horse?
Maybe
Well,
you should get out of Echo's cabin.
He
He's
takes off
pushing
the
him.
veil and he's like, I don't know how I feel about the fact that he added scent either.
Why do you
Makes
still
it-
smell like a horse without the veil?
Makes it more believable. He is half horse.
I mean, that's also fair.
You can't just ask people why they smell like horses, Penelope.
It's just not done.
But yeah, essentially, when you put the mask on, you fall under a just affecting you version of the seeming spell, which means as a centaur, you have the appropriate limbs to pass as a horse or other animals, but this is coded to horse because of the nature of your conversation. So, aside from touch, because you are still taking up the same space that you did before, you smell like a horse, you sound like a horse while you're walking, your tail freely moves like your real one, I guess. But anything that you're wearing disappears and you just look like a horse. You're not like a horse wearing a tabard or a horse wearing armor and carrying a shield or whatever in a weird ass horse way. You just look like a horse.
My saddlebags are hidden too?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
You just look like a horse. And if anyone sees you walk by, what they see is, oh, that's a horse. If for some reason you do enough weird stuff that they question what this horse is up to, and they get close to you and spend an entire turn checking, or really an action, seeing what your deal is, they have to make an investigation check against your spell save DC, which for you is pretty big because you have a high wisdom. And if they pass that, then they can realize that you're a centaur. But that's only if they spend an action inspecting you, which most people will not do.
Hey.
Congrats, you can horse now.
You can go back to that school and be like, I really am a smart horse now.
Nay.
You can
Nay. The mouth doesn't move. Nay.
You can go back to
Well-
that place and eat pancakes with those.
clarifying,
Your-
it is an illusion. So if you try to use that in the school, you might have a problem. But almost everywhere else.
I'll talk you immediately. Never mind.
No. Go back to Van-Fem's boat. Just no illusions.
Yeah. But for most purposes, this is more convenient than wearing your mask. It's a lot less easy to figure out. And yeah, it means that if you're eating or something, even though your hands are physically carrying food up to your face, what other people see is a horse leaning over and eating the food.
This is objectively funnier. This horse is eating pancakes. How is this horse eating pancakes? What? He's a very smart horse. Don't think too much about
Just
it.
don't worry about it.
Like, if you open a door, what people see is the horse's head reaching down and sticking its mouth around the knob and turning it. Like, they interpret this in whatever way their brain can rationalize a horse doing the things you're doing.
Gaslight people.
Look,
But when you do things that are impossible for a horse, like walk on the wall, they're going to see that you're a centaur.
Oh,
Like, you can't do things that are impossible for horses and get away with it.
But I
Hear
can
me
open
out, though,
doors.
spider
baby.
horse.
spider horse does whatever a spider horse does.
Walks on walls? Sure, why not?
Walks
Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a horse.
Look out! Here goes the spider horse.
No, it's just look out and then nothing
Just
else.
look out!
Just-
Look out.
But yeah, on that ridiculous note, we'll stop for the night, and then next time we will start with werewolves and cowboys, and then we will move back to London, and we will let you do your dreamscape adventure, because I think that'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna
And
miss.
we don't have time to squeeze in the werewolf.
No, just because I'm running out of voice. I'm still feeling post-travel voice. But don't worry, you'll see a werewolf.
Can I message you with something that Diana was gonna do when she woke up?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not important at
Sure.
all.
but you can message me just to have a record of it.
Okay, cool.
She wakes up.
She
She was
just-
boy, I'm sorry.
She just wakes up like sweating and like, what the fuck was that? No, but yeah, no, I'll message you.
Okay. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna start disconnecting all this stuff. Next time we come back for a big round number. So naturally, we're going to go inside someone's head and maybe fight something. Who knows? I will be coordinating directly with Annis to determine what the inside of her head looks like, because that's more fun.
I have ideas.
I bet it's covered in books like some kind of nerd palace.
No.
Does the
It's Pallet Town.
does the veil require attunement or no?
No.
Wow. Okay.
No, this is a very good item.
Hell yeah.
But it is locked to horse. You can't use it to look like anything else.
And it's almost like Kwaku is really good at his job or something.
Damn, Kwaku.
It's almost like he's a high-level artificer who can just make things.
Yeah. Look, all I'm saying is that a horse can wield a club. It's gonna look like it's in my mouth, so I beat people now.
Yes.
We're gonna have to gaslight people.
Sorry.
Like, no, you didn't see that.
That
What?
horse beating a man? Hua, hua.
What's more believable, that you actually saw a horse eating, opening a door with its mouth, or
Ambush the butcher. I'm just a horse. I beat him up with a stick. The rest of the fucking Leopold's just like, is that a horse beating our boss?
I mean,
He's
Leopold,
just,
as a former cow, is going to be suspicious of this horse.
I believe in his uselessness to not understand.
But yeah, on that silly note, I'm going to start hitting all the disconnect buttons. So, good night, the wonderful world of recordings. Good night.
Good night, internet nerds. Yeah.